My hair smells like burnt mushrooms.
I'll lick your teeth if you want.
How does one turn on a wand?
Welcome. I'm Kat,
I'm Hunter.
and we are your Fairy Gaymothers Sorta.
Welcome to the grand season finale, episode 15. We made it. And more importantly, you made it.
And we're so proud of you. And we're so grateful to you for coming on this journey with us so far. Well, after all this time, why don't I put myself to the test? And in describing a fairy gay mother, try to use as few words as possible.
I like this challenge.
Are we ready?
Oh, I'm locked in.
Okay. I'm going to forego the fairy gay mother is, okay? So we're just starting straight from the definition.
I'm going to count how many words.
Okay.
Okay.
Good vibes. Maybe. Hot. Definitely. Cool. Making everyone else better by existing. Creatively or otherwise. Boom.
15 words.
Wait, I didn't say anything about queer, but that's the 16th word. Queer.
Queer. We should go and count up all the other words that you use. We won't, but we should.
Yeah.
And then compare your lowest amount of words to
Well, my lowest will certainly be 15. 16.
That was incredible. I liked it.
Yeah, thank you.
I have one word to describe who the Fairy Gay Mother of the Week is.
Yes,
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Us.
Mic drop.
Cowboy hat tilt.
Yeah, it's us.
It's us. Because you know what? While you guys showed up 15 lessons in a row, we showed up 15 lessons in a row, and we're lesbians. So
Exactly. And you know what? We actually showed up more than 15 lessons in a row, but
you're right.
those other lessons will not see the light of day for a while.
No, because I prefer to not be canceled.
Exactly. or doxed.
Or doxed.
So 15 it is.
15 episodes, 16 words. What more could one need? Okay, on the one hand, when I was like, do you think these lessons are helping us? You were like, I think we stray further from the light each episode. But on the other hand, do you think that we have grown through this experience?
Absolutely, I think we've grown.
Explain why we are cool and changing the world for the better for everyone else queer.
Well, I think we are attempting to inform the people.
You're right.
So we're providing an education.
Mm-hmm.
We certainly have not done it in a way that is always straightforward or comprehensible. So I think that also emphasizes the queer thing, besides the fact that we're just lesbians.
Yep, you're right.
And I think we've shone a light on other people who are doing great work creatively and scientifically. We've plugged lots of research for people to check out.
You're right.
And I think very few times we have cared about being cringe.
That's so true.
I think we've just been authentically cringe the whole time.
The whole time we've just been embarrassing.
Yeah. And cared about it so little.
Actually, truly.
Yeah.
Like, for me personally, who used to be embarrassed by literally everything, like, I would sniffle and be like, oh my lord. Like, that's so awful. But I have cared a lot less about, like, being perceived.
Yeah.
So,
Nothing we can do.
can't take that back.
Nope.
Future employers, beware.
Hey.
All right.
Well, for the final episode of season 1, as we were brainstorming, what lesson should we get into this week, we thought, no, we've done enough learning, and by proxy, so have you guys. So this week, instead of going through a lesson that we'll stumble through, we decided why not just stumble the whole way? We're just gonna ask why and not really get into the answers at all. So get ready with us to crash out. Everyone, do me a favor, strap in. Okay, it's gonna be a bumpy ride.
Strap in, strap up.
But, of course, maintaining our regular traditions, we're gonna start with a little crash out first, do our bits, our bangs, and then we'll jump right into screaming at the ether.
And what was the lesson called again?
Know thy unknowns.
No, thy unknown. Unknown? Singular, plural?
Who knows? There's many, clearly.
And it's unknown to me. Alrighty. Kat, why don't you start us off with your crash out of the week?
My crash out of the week is my armpits. And don't get me wrong, I really don't have a general issue with anyone else's armpits. I don't care if you have hair, if you don't have hair. I don't care if you smell. I would love if everyone used deodorant, but like I respect the fact that I have no control over what everyone else does with their body, right? My armpits, however, I don't like the feeling of having armpit hair. It's not in a... I truly would probably love to be one of those people who's like, I don't care about shaving. I'm not removing my hair for anyone else. I'm removing my hair for me. Okay. I don't care what anyone else thinks. But I also get severe razor burn, ingrown hairs, and just overall very sensitive gal. So I don't often completely remove it because then I will suffer the consequences. You know, I'll be bare in my armpit, but I'll have now rash. So now I have rash. And choosing between hair and rash, I'm going to choose hair, but I still don't like the feeling. And also I sweat. I sweat
Sensory nightmare.
so much. So I'm just constantly thinking about my armpits. I'm feeling them. I'm thinking about them. And I'm really tired of it. Thank you for listening to my crush.
I don't think I've ever like felt my armpits. Like,
Consider yourself lucky.
Thank you. Thank you. You know what? Biologically, thank you, Mom and Dad, for that one. No, I sweat a ton. I just don't think I don't have the rash issue.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand, and I'm sorry for your plight.
Thank you. Thank you for understanding my plight.
Of course.
If anyone else has a similar plight out there, please reach out. We can start a support group.
And we will provide free deodorant.
Will we? Do we have the budget for that?
We'll buy 1 box of powdered laundry detergent and call that a day.
Hopefully the chemicals in there will fix whatever issue you're having.
We'll do the same thing, you know?
I am very fortunate, though, that I don't have hydronitis suppurativa. I didn't look that up.
What is that?
It's when you get essentially like hair follicles or that get kind of like infected, but they swell so bad and people have to get them like drained all the time and
HS?
they cause... Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, you know it by HS, but not full name.
No. I see people on Instagram or TikTok and they'll be like HS update and then they'll like lift I mean, it's not just armpits. Like I've seen people get them like in between their boobs and other
you can
places.
get them anywhere.
Yeah. But like a couple of the people that I've seen, it's mostly in their armpits.
Yeah.
And it does look horrible.
Yeah, no, apparently it's extremely painful. So I do, though I have my plights, I understand my blessings as well. So, all right, what's your crash out?
It was a question that I was asked that had me reevaluating myself as a person. And you know when you recognize something about yourself and you're like, I didn't need to know that.
Yep.
Or like, even if it's not true, just like the fact that you've thought it about yourself now, or you're like, wait, am I? And then causes a whole other thing. And anyone who's gay should know what that's like.
Wait, am I?
Wait.
Yeah.
Would I? But someone was asking me about TV shows that I liked recently. And like the last one that I watched all the way through. And I was like, oh, I think the last one that I watched all the way through would have been Heated Rivalry. And I was like, oh, and you know what? Like Heartstopper was really cute. If there's gay characters, like I'm locking in. And they were like, why only gay men? And I was like, and then I was like, oh my God, am I a misogynist? Do I hate lesbians? And then I was like, no, I watched Yellow Jackets. And I watched
Quick, name one other lesbian TV show.
A League of Their Own. And that one was explicitly lesbian. I don't even think I thought of that one in the moment. I think I was like, I watched The Last of Us, which is predominantly a zombie show. Anyways, I just was like, I had like a full minute where I was like, oh my gosh, do I only watch gay men on TV? And like, because I hated Happiest Season.
Everyone hated Happiest Season.
And I was like, oh my gosh. And I never watched Pretty Little Liars. Like maybe I'm missing the foundational texts.
I hated Happiest Season and I never watched Pretty Little Liars. Am I a bad lesbian?
Am I a bad lesbian? I've seen most of the L Word.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't think any of them were super great people either. Anyways, that was my crash out. I was just like, am I homophobic towards lesbians? I don't think so, but it was, you know what? I appreciated being put in my place.
It's important to be questioned like that.
Yes, it's important to be questioned like that. And it's important to recognize your shortcomings. So
the other problem I think is that lesbian media just gets canceled all the time. So
or
it's
like
really
they get
hard
killed.
Oh,
I watched The 100.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yep.
But it was lesbian for like 3 episodes and then she died.
Yep. R.I.P. Clexa.
I think there's a new show coming out called Cleat Cute. Like Meet Cute, but Cleat Cute. And it's like Heated Rivalry, but for lesbians, and they both play soccer. It's based on a book. I just can't remember the author. I'll show up for that. and I'll ride hard unless it's bad, but I'll show up for that. And then the allegations will be disproven.
I can't wait.
Thank you. What was your bit?
My bit was something that I kept seeing written. I have no idea who said it first, but as everyone I'm sure has seen everything that's happened with Taylor Frankie Paul recently, and I saw a TikTok comment, and I don't know if it came from a TikTok or something else. Anyway, I saw it in a comment first, and it said, "I'm Taylor frankly appalled." And I've seen it used a couple times since then.
That's so good.
And it got me good.
It's like giving excuse me.
Yeah.
That's good.
I'm Taylor frankly appalled. What about your bit?
My bit, I fear, is a repeated bit, kind of. But recently, I watched a Jubilee YouTube video where it was like, guess if these people are lesbians. And they had 2 gay men on one side and 2 lesbians on the other. And then people came and introduced themselves and they had to guess.
I've seen that video.
And one of the questions that one of the girls would ask all the time is like, did you watch Glee growing up? And if anyone answered no, they were like, straight. And so I asked one of our best friends, Sean, I was like, did you watch Glee? And he was like, no. And I was like, wait a damn minute.
Yeah.
And that's important to me. That's my foundational text, okay? So, which I've spoken about so many times on this freaking podcast, but watch it, okay? And so I was showing him a bunch of clips, and I was reminded of the time that Britney S. Pierce was like, when I pulled my hamstring, I went to a misogynist. And that was the line that like really got Sean. Like they were laughing so hard at that now it just plays in my head all the time. And like, because people complain about muscle aches a lot. Yeah. So it's always an opportune moment to say that.
You should go see a misogynist.
Yeah. Oh, you pulled your hamstring? I did once. I went and saw a misogynist.
Stop the violence. No, I love Glee, truly. And I have encountered quite a few people lately who have been like, oh, I've never seen Glee. And I'm like, what? But a lot of people haven't. I don't understand. And I really don't know if it's going to hit the same way in this day and age. Like it came out more like 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, and now there's like tea around the actors and actresses. Like they all have, like Leah Michele has a reputation now for not being able to read and like being in musical theater. Whereas like we all went into that blind when we were watching it on cable each week. Like I didn't know anything about any of them.
No.
And that's what made it good. Like I don't want to know anything about Matthew Morrison other than him playing Mr. Chu.
Yeah.
But okay, but so many people joke about like how terrifying Matthew Morrison is, or like you just got Matthew Morrison. Like, where are these jokes coming from if you're not reading the foundational text?
Exactly.
If you're not watching the scripture.
Exactly. So watch Glee if you haven't, okay? That's your homework for this
There's
week.
only 6 seasons. You can watch up to season 3, and that's like finish season 3, and then that's enough.
Yeah.
But I will recommend you watch season 5, episode 2. The quarterback.
Yeah.
But simply for emotional depth that you'll never reach in any other way. But like, if you want to be funny, watch seasons 1 to 3 of Glee.
Yeah. Yep.
Yerp. Anyways.
Yerp.
What was your bang?
My bang this week. My bang. It was PetSmart Adoption Week. So I made Hunter go with me to PetSmart just to browse. And truly it was just to browse. I was very strong. But one of the reasons I love going to just browse is because you get to see what the rescues have named the cats before they get their like legal name, their forever home name. And they're almost always brilliant. They are brilliant. Or you at least find a few absolute gems. So I was obsessed with a few that we saw while we were there. One I posted on my Instagram story, it was Ham Sandwich. And then we also had a duo that were found together, Sincerely Yours and With Love. I think it's supposed to be With Love, Sincerely Yours. I'm not really sure.
Couldn't ask them.
No, couldn't ask them. They weren't taking questions. And Princess Carla of Monaco.
Yeah.
Those were some real good ones. And I would just like to let all of you out there know who are not only doing the amazing work of helping to rescue and foster these cats, but also giving them star-worthy names. Absolutely Hollywood Walk of Fame worthy names. It's bringing joy to me. Now it's brought joy to you. It's really God's work. So thank you for all you're doing.
And also a warning to those who are naming their cats, do better.
Yeah.
What do you mean your cat? Well, I was just about to say people's. Like, I know cats with these names, but like, do better.
Be innovative.
Yeah. The list, you know how some girlies have lists of like child names in their phone? Not us.
Nope.
We have cat and dog names in our phone. I
Yep.
don't even like cats, but I'm prepared to name one at all moments.
Yes, as you should be.
And I shan't be sharing them because if I find out someone has that cat name, it's over.
I'm going to be furious.
I'm going to be, nope. I was going to say furious. Slayer. Anyway.
What about you? What's your bang?
My bang is that obviously I've talked about it before that I have some memory issues due to my brain. And Kat and I used to be obsessed with these like Sporkle quizzes. And once upon a time, I was able to identify all the flags of all 197 countries in the world. And then I did the test for the first time in like forever recently. And obviously post brain injury, I got like maybe 60. Like it was embarrassingly bad.
Well, I would like to say also, as someone without a brain injury,
Sure?
allegedly, if I don't do it for a long time and then I go back to it, I also just can't do it for a while. Like, I think that's simply a skill that you have to reintroduce yourself to.
And thank you for that.
Yeah.
But I took a whole day, like, and I just spent the whole day on my phone and I learned all 197 flags. And now I don't let myself go to bed until I have named all 197. And I don't let myself get out of bed until I name all 197 because I'll never lose that skill again. And it's only ever come in handy one time. And that was when I was walking. I used to live in Ottawa, and don't dox me. But I was walking along, there's a park there called Strathcona, and there's a bunch of embassies that are lined up against that park. And so when I would walk with my roommates, they'd be like, which one is that? And I'd be able to tell by the flag hanging on the building because I couldn't read the signs. Again, has it ever been useful? Debatable. Will it ever be useful? No.
During trivia nights.
You're right. Don't ask me to point out where they are on a map. That's for someone else to do. That's for someone else to memorize. But I've got the spellings of each country's name, not the pronunciations either.
Like, a lot of people say Canada when it's actually
Canada.
Like, do your homework, okay?
Do your homework. But anyways, it's a cool party trick that no one will ever ask me to do at a party. And yeah, that was my bang. It was just really fun.
We love niche. The real ones know Sporkle, first of all.
It's no Sporkle.
They are familiar with Sporkle. But yeah, it's truly just one of those niche little knowledge things that you wear like a badge of honor, but not a lot of people will get to appreciate the badge.
No, and I'm going to bring it up anytime I can.
Yeah.
It's like when people bring up that they're like forklift certified, like forklift operator certified.
And they're like working in corporate.
Yeah. Or like, you know, when people bring up that they're ordained because it's like an online course. I did that. Like I was guilty of being that kid. Like,
yes. Yeah, which a lot of those aren't legal. Like, hate to break it to you. But,
like I certainly was not legally marrying people at the age of 16.
No.
Like for the bit, like I got my boater's license. Never driven a boat before.
Yep.
And I got it before my car license. And I was like, is that skill helpful? Do I have a cottage or a boat? No. But I like to bring it up.
Yeah.
So now I'm just going to drop.
It's on your resume.
Yeah, certainly. And you know what? Duolingo also said elementary Spanish is on my resume too.
Excellent.
So, gracias.
No, grass your ass. And on that note, why don't we take a quick break?
Quick little breather.
And when we come back, we're going to go through some questions that have been plaguing us.
Mm-hmm.
So, see you there.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
We hope you had a good break. We're going to crash out some more.
Absolutely.
So this week, it's not a lesson, really.
It's a brain break, kind of.
It's a brain break. We're teaching you how to be an effective student. And to be a good student, you have to know thy questions. You have to know thy unknown.
Yeah.
Yes.
And maybe it'll give us some inspo or you some inspo for some season 2 topics.
Yes. I have asked a few of you for some ideas. Would love to hear back.
But until then, why don't we get started? Hunter, do you want to start with your first unknown?
Absolutely. This is my first unknown. Science has proven that everything is made out of atoms, and these atoms are very tightly clustered together and they're bouncing off of each other and moving around. So in theory, there is that whole theory that if you stick your hand at a wall an infinite amount of times, eventually it would go through the wall because the atoms would just align perfectly that none of them were hitting each other or blocking each other. And I want to know why. Why do we not have someone doing that at all times? Like, because, like, what do you mean your hand's gonna get stuck in the wall? Like, no, it isn't. And so I think, and we've existed for centuries now. You're telling me we haven't, like, why aren't we paying someone to do that at all times? You don't even have to risk your real hand. Like, use one of those things that people put in dog bowls to train them not to bite you. Like, but why aren't we doing that? Or is it not possible and you guys have lied and just don't truly understand?
Yes, scientists. Where's the guy who's being paid to just throw a hand at a wall all day,
every day? Like, and if that's a real job, I'm willing to do it. I'll sacrifice a few fingers for a 1 in an infinite chance that but if you can't definitively say that it won't happen, someone should be checking at all moments.
I want a black or white answer.
I need it. Because what if one day and like, how long would that last? Would the atoms immediately move? Would my hand get stuck in the wall? Or would I, like, if it was a door, would I get through it?
Maybe it's so fast you like stick your hand in, but like your eyes can't even see how fast your hand goes. Your hands can't even feel how fast before you know what, it's already happened.
But then, like, wouldn't it be stuck in there? Or like,
no, but the atoms already moved.
So
they moved in and they moved out. It went through and it's back in the blink of an eye. That's how fast atoms move, right?
Scientists, please confirm.
Yeah.
And like, if it was a door, and also here's the other thing. Sorry, my other question with this that I'm just like crashing out over it. Like, could I get my whole body through a door, or is it like only the atoms of one finger on this hand are gonna move enough? Like, if I'm shoving something, like I'm shoving my whole hand at the wall, like, are all the atoms of my hand going to align properly? And in theory, mathematically, it's possible. Probably got the same odds of like the specific egg being born, like, you know, like being fertilized and born, and how like everyone's chances of being alive are
a number I don't even know.
A number I can't comprehend, can't count to for sure. No. So that's what I'm saying. Could I get my whole body, or is that statistically impossible? What does impossible mean?
Scientists weigh in.
Scientists weigh in. I need to know. And please hire someone to be doing this at all times. This is an essential job.
Yeah, this is what our tax dollars should be going towards.
And you know what? I won't have allegiance to, I'll do it for NASA.
Yeah.
Like, I'll do it for, we know someone who works at NASA. Weigh in. You know how they canceled that dolphin experiment?
No.
Okay, well, NASA originally was trying to teach dolphins to communicate with humans, and they were actually progressing quite well. But then one of the scientists was found to be off one of the dolphins, so they unfortunately canceled the entire study. And so, like, you have the money now to be doing the hand and wall experiment instead. Okay? And I won't touch any of your animals or your men. So give me the wall. Give me a job. Thank you. What's your first question for the world?
My first question for the world is, why is Twitter like that now? And by that, I mean, I'm not talking about X. I'm not talking about, I'm going to call it Twitter. I don't care. And I know that there are answers as to why, but like spiritually, no, there's not. Because every time I open the app, there is at least 3 tweets that are something like I saw one today that was talking about a scene from Heated Rivalry. And it's like, oh, when Shane does this and then he pulls Ilya down for a kiss. And then someone quote tweeted it and said, "Can I say something?" No, not anymore. Not anymore. And everyone's like, or someone will quote something else and be like, "These people don't even know." That's it.
No, what?
No, what? What are you talking about? So now I know it's click farming. I know they want me to like click on the tweet, whatever. But these are people who aren't being paid to be on Twitter. They're literally just like, they just want people to read their tweets. Like, they have no followers. Like, it's not a significant enough following. Like,
no, and like a quote tweet is funny because it says something about the original tweet.
Exactly.
Not like
a quote tweet should provide context, not take it away.
Like, you could say "hear me out" in a quote tweet, depending on the context. Like, that's enough.
Yeah.
But not like, y'all don't even know.
Or someone else tweeted, "How many times do I have to tell you guys to stop mounting your TV in 2026? Why? Why do we have to stop mounting our TVs?
Is there like an absurd amount of mounted TV related deaths? Like, let me know.
Why? Why should I be concerned? In every 5 tweets, there's a tweet like this, and I can't be on the app. I can't be on the app anymore. People love vague posting on
and I'm
other
sick of it.
On other apps. Like, it's been a thing since like probably the dawn of the internet. But the phenomenon on Twitter is only contributing severely to my rage at this point. And no one, I'm sure, is receiving enough attention to warrant the amount of rage that they are receiving for vague posting exclusively from me, my rage.
Can you dislike tweets?
No, but I should start reporting people.
Yeah.
And so I really only use Twitter now to get news on women's sports, but
do we think that it's how Twitter is formatted now, or do we think it's because people have gotten less funny?
I think both.
Yeah. I think that I heard something recently where someone was like, I think we were lucky in our dawn of the internet, like our generation is time period, because we grew up knowing how to use technology, but like we're not entirely rotted by it.
Yeah.
Mind you, I've also heard 35-year-olds go 6'7", so.
Ew, yeah. And on that note. All right, what's your next unknown?
I love to ask people that if they were deserted on an island, like after a plane crash, how quickly they think they would descend into cannibalism, okay? I think it's a great icebreaker, and I think I can tell a lot about you based on your answer. If you're going to get weirded out by the question, you're not funny. And nor are you innovative, okay? If you're going to be like, I would never do that, then you're just a liar. So, moving forward from that question, in, like, minor spoiler alert for Project Hail Mary, but it has to do with food, and a scientific discovery in the future is that they're able to take like human muscle and duplicate the proteins in it so that in a place where there is no meat or livestock, you could still get your protein through eating your own muscle, kind of.
Okay.
Is that vegan? Is my question. Like, if it's your own...
Is cannibalism vegan? Specifically when it's your own meat.
Because I think if we look at the definition of veganism, then we're getting into semantics of words. Like, what about the spirituality of veganism? Like, spiritually, am I eating an animal? Like,
PETA, weigh in. Okay, we've got Merriam-Webster on it.
okay.
A strict vegetarian who consumes no food, such as meat, eggs, or dairy products, that comes from animals.
So no?
Also, one who abstains from using animal products, such as leather.
So, okay, hear me out. Hear me out. This is about to get a little dirty, okay? But if we are going to consider humans animals, then that means we can't use human byproducts, which means that drinking your mother's milk as a baby would not be vegan. It would mean that getting a, what do you call it? What do you call it when you someone's face? Like that would not be vegan. You couldn't swallow. That would not be vegan. People who do placenta masks, not vegan.
And I feel like a lot of vegans probably do placenta masks.
Because who else is doing that shit?
Oh, here's another definition.
Okay.
Veganism is a philosophy and a way of living which seeks to exclude, as far as is possible and practicable, all forms of exploitation of and cruelty to animals for food, clothing, or any other purpose, and by extension promotes the development and use of animal-free alternatives for the benefit of animals, humans, and the environment. In dietary terms, it denotes the practice of dispensing with all products derived wholly or partly from animals.
So then what clothes are you wearing also?
Cotton.
So Texas Chainsaw Massacre, he was a vegan because he was just wearing skin suits. Or was not a vegan. Like, vegans? No, actually, vegans do not weigh in. I don't want your opinion on this. I want a scientist's opinion on this. Like, I need to know.
I want a doctor
to weigh in. And two, if you're living on a planet in a different solar system that has no animals and and it's your own, like, does it count? You're telling me you've never swallowed a booger when you were a baby?
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to tell me that's not vegan? Like, what about I swallowed my tooth when I was a kid?
Oh, yep.
I bit into cake, ate the whole slice.
Yep.
No more tooth.
Yep.
Am I a cannibal? I don't think so. I need to know. Anyways.
Doctors, please weigh in and let us know your expert opinions. Vegans, I don't really care what you have to say.
And cannibals, stay away.
Yeah. Army?
Army Hammer?
That's for you.
All right, what is the next thing that you don't understand?
The next thing I don't understand. Okay. This is a sensitive topic, so I have to figure out how to talk about it. Barry Keoghan's face. Why is it doing that? What is happening? I remember him in The Banshees of Inisherin, and like, he's a dude who's got a little bit of a weird face.
Yeah. Yes.
But I always thought it was charming. I thought it was cute. And the fact that he's like Irish. Like, have you seen The Banshees of Inisherin?
No, but I've seen him. I've seen clips of him in it.
Yeah. So like his role in that is like, he's dumb, but he's like,
Isn't he disabled?
maybe. It may be one of those like Leonardo DiCaprio, like what's eating Gilbert Grape
Right.
moments. The point is, it doesn't really matter what his role was in that. His face was like cute, but maybe something like, you know, Irish about him. And
Cillian Murphy doesn't look like that.
something British about him somehow deep down. But I don't know if anyone's seen the pictures of him as they are doing the Beatles movie. And I don't even know whatever other project they're doing. But what's happening? Like, Sabrina Carpenter dated him, correct?
Correct.
And listen, sure, we all make mistakes every now and again. But I think Sabrina's team wouldn't let that happen with the way he looks right now. And I'm not someone who will discriminate purely based on looks,
Okay.
evidently.
She does charity work all the time.
I'm concerned. Like, something is happening. Like, it looks like they made a mask of his face and he's wearing the mask of his face. That's not quite right. I don't know if something is going on with him health-wise. The point is, we don't have the answers, and that's why it's an unknown. But I'm disturbed. And so everyone else needs to be disturbed too and know what's going on, because something's wrong.
I think if he was just ugly, that would be one thing.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that he's ugly and like, one, rude for cheating on Sabrina Carpenter with a child. I think she was like above 18, but barely. And two, like, has like really weird takes. Like when he did his like tube takes, like when he was on like the tube and that guy interviews you, like, what's your hot take? And he was like, don't peel my boiled eggs because my granny used to do that and I would taste her fingers on the eggs. And ew, don't talk to me about sucking your grandma's fingers. Like, I don't want to know about that.
I saw a comment on TikTok. I feel like it got really popular, so a lot of people must have seen this, but it was someone pointing out really great comments on TikTok.
Love
and they
those.
highlighted one that was someone sharing something personal, and someone replied, "Did the journal factory explode?" And that's one of those takes where I'm like, did the journal factory explode?
I agree, and I think that's a valid question to have. I think it's valid to wonder what's going on there. And he didn't used to look like that.
No,
like
that's what
even
I'm
in
saying.
Saltburn, he
That's
wasn't.
what I'm saying. Something's wrong. Something's happening. If it's cigarettes, make him stop smoking. Anyway, I don't know, but I would like to know what's happening.
Barry Keoghan's team, please reach out.
Please.
We're concerned.
Our email is in the bio below, description below. All right, what about your next unknown?
Okay, the common stat is that we only use 10% of our brain. I believe scientists have said that's not really true, and it's usually, like, it's closer to 40%. Why can't we use all of it, is my question. And, like, how do we use more of it? And there was that guy in France that they did an MRI on that was missing 90% of his brain and didn't know until, like, adulthood, like, because he was totally fine. Then why is it there? Like,
have you seen Lucy?
Yeah.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Okay.
Scarlett Johansson.
Yes.
Some like crazy
Morgan
drug
Freeman,
gets leaked in her system, and all of a sudden she's able to use 100% of her brain, and she like transcends human knowledge. Is her whole thing. And like, I'm pretty sure dolphins have a pretty high use of like pretty high percentage of brain usage.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I want to know what's going on with us. I want to know why, where's the other 60% that we supposedly can't access? What's it doing there? What does it do? If it's useful and if it's doing something in our bodies, then we are using it. So where does that stat come from?
No,
what's the basis of that math?
That's my question. Is like, what defines use?
Yeah.
Like, is that like a parasympathetic response where it's like keeping our heart pumping, which distributes blood?
Like
it like is in charge of nerves and pain centers. Like, we may not be, our pain center may not be active all the time.
Right.
But I would consider that like a part of the brain that we're using.
And I doubt it wouldn't make sense to me if they were like, oh, only 40, like the stat of you only use like 10% of your brain using like the very basic, like common knowledge fact. It wouldn't make sense. This stat would be 10% of our brain is used for like cognitive functions. The way that the numbers are presented to us makes it seem like there is something that we are not using, as opposed to, oh, only 40% of the total brain
is active at any
moment or something like that. And like, I need to know why that is. And if you can survive without 90% of it, why is it there then?
Evidently, we need more doctors in our lives.
We don't know many people who went into science.
No.
The scientists. And the ones we do went into like geology.
Yeah.
Would love to hear about the rocks too, but the big old rock I'm focused on right now is my skull. And someone who is struggling with my brain, like, if I'm only using 40% of it and then 10% is damaged, can I just take that 10% from another part of the 100% of my brain? Anyways, that's what I need to, like I said, a lot of mine are science-based. I have a lot of questions about, and I could have studied science. I just chose not to. And instead I'm asking the void. What's your next crash out?
My next unknown is people against trans women in sports. I don't understand. I've heard all your scientific claims, and simply for every claim you make, there's another scientist that goes, actually, no, that's not true. It is a very disputed field.
Yes.
Because there haven't been studies done on elite level trans athletes.
No.
There's a lot of hypothesis and presumption when it comes to sex-based advantages, particularly when it comes to hormones.
Yes.
Also, when it comes to puberty, there's mixed research.
Yep.
But overwhelmingly, the evidence is, if we're talking trans women in particular, if they've been on hormones for anywhere between 1 and 3 years, their physicality generally is very similar to that of a cis woman.
Yes.
Point blank, period. But also, I don't want to talk about Michael Phelps because
I know that's everyone's go-to. They're like, he's got a wingspan and webbed toes. I don't want to talk about a man in sports ever.
I don't know. What I want to talk about is the supposed biological advantage that transphobes claim trans women have over cis women on a general level. When we don't talk at all about how some women can reach the height of 6'5", 6'7". God damn it.
Shut up.
I'm 5'3". Am I looking at every tall woman and going, she has a genetic advantage because she's taller than me?
No, yeah.
Also, if we're talking about biological advantage, why not bring in economic advantage? I think that's a huge one. Economic advantage gives you crazy access to particular training methods, coaches, specialists, nutritionists. They help you train for a very particular sport, skill, etc. Not everyone has access to that. So should all people who don't have access to that say rich people shouldn't be allowed to play sports because we don't all have access to the same specialists that they do? Sport inherently relies on advantage. It relies on the best of the best. So why are we now saying, nope, unfair advantage, no, 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 no? Your argument doesn't make any sense. Just say you hate trans people, okay? I don't understand how people take such a hard stance on not having trans women in sports when literally none of your arguments as to why not make any sense.
No, it's like the same as people saying like, and those arguments are usually there's 2 biological sexes. Like that's not even true. Like it, like literally being intersex affects 13% of the population, which is more than left-handedness. It is more than, you said, ginger hair, right? It's not even biologically a quote unquote truth that there's only 2 sexes. And also too, like the amount of genetics that make up your sex, you have not explicitly been tested. It's not just XXXY, first of all, which also varies. There's more than just XX and XY. There's XXY. Anywho. But on top of that, like unless you have truly gone and paid for extensive medical testing, you don't know all of your sex characteristics either.
Nope.
And like so many people live their entire lives never knowing because it's not relevant what's happening in someone's body to you. And all these people who complain don't know a single trans woman in sport. They don't even know a cis woman in sports. Mind your business.
Anyway. All right. What's your next unknown?
My next unknown is also scientific, but slightly mathematical. Okay. I'm talking about like infinities here. Because obviously there's an infinite amount of numbers between 0 and 1, and there's also an infinite amount of numbers between 0 and 2. So that whole John Green quote that like some infinities are bigger than other infinities, I believe mathematicians have come forward and said that's actually not true, which does not make sense to me because infinities aren't a number. And this is way back in the day, people who first started doing math decided when they were calculating like spheres and circles, like pi isn't in theory, infinite number. Yet we don't use like the infinite number. Also, how would you discover something's an infinite number? Because you'd never finish. And like you just keep being like, oh, there's another decimal. Oh, there's another one. And like, what do you mean you just picked a bunch of decimals and was like, that must be true. And then all of our calculations regarding spheres and circles and even triangles include pi, and we use an approximate.
There are calculations regarding triangles that use pi?
Cones, sorry.
Oh.
Pi is included in those calculations. So everything that we build is based off an approximate number for pi, which means all of our calculations are just a little bit off, which means that that we're just picking numbers.
Well, when you use the
calculator
pi button, no, but how many digits does the pi button on a calculator maintain?
Well, probably only the amount that fits in the screen.
Is that true?
I don't know. Someone who built a calculator, let me know. Someone who uses calculators regularly, let me know. But even then, even if it went 100 digits, like it's still not correct because it's not the entire number. And then we'd be rounding shit. And in school, they teach you 3.14. That's it.
Is pi an infinite number? I thought there were
I double
a set
checked
number.
it.
Okay.
I Googled it. I said, is pi an infinite number? And they said yes, in theory. It's just like math in general to me is crazy. I do enjoy it sometimes, like don't get me wrong. And I can understand complex things. Like I understand how relativity works in terms of aging in space versus on land. Like I understand all of that. Infinities I find difficult to understand as there's no end. So like we actually don't know anything for sure because we don't know the end of it.
Is it like the concept of God to you?
Maybe. It's like an abstract. But at least with God, not talking about like the human aspect, organized religion, speaking about like a higher power.
Yeah.
I completely understand why people would believe there's a higher power. I completely understand that we could see like proof of miracles and things like that. Or in a mathematical way, we understand the third dimension. And if you were looking at a 2D picture and like a little stick guy's wearing a hat that's facing the left, if we were to take the hat and flip it so that it's facing the right, like the little 2D guy could not perceive why that happened. He would, because he doesn't perceive the third dimension. We're in the third dimension. So I could totally believe that something is in the fourth dimension and we can't perceive what's happening because we don't have access to that dimension. Sorry, I don't know how that relates to God, I guess. Well, because I can understand that there are forces beyond our comprehension. Whether you figure that out when you die or not my business. I actually don't care about that part. But I can understand that there are forces beyond our comprehension. But I leave it at that. And I'm like, oh, I just, I can't understand that. And I'm not going to pretend to be able to put God into a 5-digit 3.141592. And like just having a revelation in general that nothing is ever 100% correct. And like obviously truth is relative to the time and the understandings that we have at the moment. But I was just like, wow, like things that you hold as fundamental truths, like they teach you how to calculate the area of a sphere in grade school. And they're not even right.
Gosh, dang it.
What's your next?
I would like to know, and this is my unknown, okay? So if there's an answer, no, there's not, all right? Who is still going to Chris Brown concerts, okay? And if you're like, me, put your hand down.
Don't admit that out loud.
No.
You couldn't waterboard that information out of me.
I want to know why, because let's say, regardless of who he is as a person, even though I think that's a pretty integral part as to my question, as to why people are still going to his concerts. His music is fine. I could think of a lot of other R&B and hip hop artists who make way better music, who are even better looking, and who dance like, so what? The man dances and sings? Like, so does Matthew Morrison.
You won't see me at his concert.
No. Why? I don't understand. It's not like we're in an artistic desert. There are plenty of people making incredible hip hop music, doing incredible dance, being incredibly hot. Why? Why him? Why him you go to?
The whole Crash Out was just spoken like Yoda.
Yeah, exactly. Piece that together. So I can't be doxxed.
And I fear there is no answer.
No, exactly. I don't want an answer.
There's no justifiable answer is the issue.
No.
For giving money to any abuser. It's when you know and have really solid proof. Like,
yep.
I always believe that we should believe women.
Solid, yeah.
But like this was also like, this was quite proven.
Mm-hmm. These sold out stadium shows. That's where you're going, eh?
I guess you have two options, and that it's either that you're kind of a bad person or you kind of had bad taste in music.
And so which one do you want to pick? That's my unknown.
Flo Rida is right there.
Yeah.
Believe women.
Believe women. Anyway, next unknown.
I think that might have been it. I think I know everything else in the world.
Excellent. Okay, our final unknown for this episode. As I am currently reading Fourth Wing, this came back to me, but it's something that we've kind of talked about before.
Sorry, I should have said earlier, that's my bang. Cat reading Fourth
I'm
Wing.
reading Fourth Wing?
Yeah, huge bang. Considering I've explained the plot of all 3 books that are out extensively to her in several continents, like, this is huge.
And I do remember some of the explanation, but not all. So I'm still on the edge of my seat most of the time. But I was reminded of the question, why are so many popular authors army brats? What is it about that particular upbringing that really casts magic in one's quill?
And why do we like reading about it so much? Like, for instance, Rebecca Yarros, who is the author of Fourth Wing, as well as other books, is an army brat. And I believe her husband is still in the military. And Suzanne Collins, who wrote all the Hunger Games books, is an army brat. However, I do think they approach the military in different ways.
Quite differently,
And
yes.
I do believe that Suzanne Collins offers a insightful and thought-provoking critical perspective of military forces and their powers in the world, specifically in North America.
Yerp.
I do think Fourth Wing is not that.
No. No. I'm only about a little bit over halfway, and so far that's not my impression, but
we do love, like, if you, like, as readers, if you look at what's popular, like, we love being categorized. Like, Harry Potter, people are obsessed with, and J.K. Rowling, and I mean that with my whole chest.
Yeah.
My whole I mean that. But everyone, like, sorts themselves into a house. And then when Divergent came out, everyone was sorting themselves into a faction. And with Fourth Wing, you're sorting yourself into a quadrant. When Avatar: The Last Airbender came out, you were giving yourself an element that you had power over. Like, what is it about the military structure and then assigning yourself to a group? Like, I can understand the idea of, like, belonging and feeling part of a community. Not sure necessarily why we're connecting through, like, fake military groups. Like, why we're like, no, I would totally be a dragon rider. That's me, girl. Oh my gosh, she's poor. I would totally be from District 12. But we do. We want to identify ourselves in these things. And for some reason, that, like, military scene, that sort of, like, whether it be a school, there is some sort of, like, organized structure with combat and education that we deeply enjoy as readers.
yeah, but like, what is it about their experience
Yeah.
that makes them build these worlds?
Yeah.
Like, is it the lack of one school? They have a lot of time to themselves.
Are they getting government secrets that we are not?
like, they don't have a lot of friends? I don't know what.
Especially when you're like and I'm not saying this about any particular author that I know, but when you're like a trad wife to a military man, are we writing about, like, heroines because we feel hopeless at home?
I don't know.
I don't know,
I
lassie.
don't know, lassie.
And also, like, some of those plots, stop. And I don't, they have this, like, sorry, but, like, just really quick, like, every romance book that I've ever read that has, like, a military character in it is always, like, kind and protective and sensitive and just like what you would want in a dad, you know, like, and yet I have never met anyone from the military that exhibited any of those traits.
No, it was like because their dad was probably in the military. That's what they imagined their ideal father.
But he wasn't around. Or like,
clearly, they're also a little, not so much Suzanne Collins, but I've read a couple others. Clearly, they're also a little freaky.
A little freaky.
Something about being an army brat.
Maybe it's the same way that, like,
Catholic school.
I was just about to say that, like, low-key religious people are the freakiest.
When you're suppressed,
yeah.
You've got to have some release, right?
And I mean this, the craziest, freakiest bitches I ever met were from Vacation Bible School, which I was in as a child. So maybe something about the, like, strict military structure is also getting you some freaky.
Yeah.
And it's also well documented on social media that these male protagonists who are in the military are relatively, like, assertive in the bedroom, dominant, say some wild things like that. And it is well documented that, like, many women are like, love reading it in a book. If a man said that to me in real life, I'm screaming for help. So I wonder if these, like, authors who are military brats, like, are you also screaming for help, or is this truly what's getting it done for you?
So many unknowns in one question posed.
All I know is that Suzanne Collins is doing it right.
Yeah.
Not a freaky scene in that book.
No, just empowering the youth with knowledge.
And starting the revolution. That was incredible.
Thank you.
If there's one skill I wish I had, it's whistling.
Really? That's the only one?
Yeah.
I never do that.
I should develop picking better friends.
You're stuck with me, bitch. We're bonded for life. Wow.
Wow.
Whoa. Whoa.
So, should we take a brief break before saying our goodbyes?
Yeah.
Alrighty. See you in a minute.
I remember tears true. No, just kidding. Litigious Queen. We are not seeing that.
Facts. She would dox us.
She would dox us.
And then write some song about how you were like taking a shit on her lawn or something.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back.
Welcome back.
We don't know how to say goodbye.
Really don't.
Well, why don't we tell them what they can expect from season 2 and when they can expect it?
Well, when do gay people reemerge? It's Pride Month. We're going to be back in June. The first Friday in June. Probably. I think it'll be a Friday, but it'll certainly be June. And in terms of what to expect, I mean, us, but better, really. If we never stop learning and improving, it'll be similar sort of stuff. Us crashing out, us learning things, us rambling about topics we want you to learn about. But we might be dropping some new segments. We might be refreshing some old ones. And we want you to weigh in. What kind of topics do you want to hear us talk about? Are there any new segments you want us to try?
Let us know.
Hit us up. Let us know. We're going to be focusing on short form content, taking a bit of a pause from long form content because we can only be gay in spurts.
It's all that's legal.
Yeah. For a long time, it's really draining. So we need a little bit of a break.
Our backs hurt.
Yeah.
Carrying the straights through life.
Absolutely. Yeah, hopefully I'll have even more hatred for Doug Ford.
Hopefully we can achieve at least whatever is the first step in your goal of taking him down.
Yes. And for legal purposes, that is not a threat.
It's
it is
metaphorical.
Metaphorical. Yeah. Well, in terms of wrapping up season 1, how are you feeling as a Fairy Gaymother Sorta?
You know, I'm feeling sort of good.
Sort of good.
Sort of good. Sort of gay. I think that we did learn, regardless of the format, regardless of how we got there. I feel like I learned some things. I learned some things about myself that I didn't want to know. I learned some things that I'm excited to know. And I think that I've grown at least a little bit.
Absolutely.
If not exponential.
Yeah.
And you know what? I loved hearing back from the people who watched it and hearing their opinions on it. I think the most validating thing has been that we're not the only ones feeling like this.
Yeah. Or even that like people have learned stuff from listening to us.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's crazy that anyone would ever take us as an authority on education. What about you? How are you feeling?
Yeah, also sort of good. Super gay. Super merry.
I thought you said super married. I was like, to whom?
Surprise.
Me.
I think we've done so much learning and growing and challenging ourselves. And there were some things I learned about myself that I didn't want to know. Like sometimes I have a little bit of a stutter. Didn't know about that. Some things that my therapist was glad he got to know. And yeah, overall just loved hearing from people, their thoughts and experiences. And yeah, I love the research process. I love the process of doing it all. And I feel like we've grown and hopefully helped some other folks grow a little bit in their worldview.
Minimum. Honestly, I'll take a laugh. If someone laughed one singular time, that has validated everything I've ever thought about myself, that I am the funniest person that ever has existed. So
if you laughed once, our work here is done, really.
Yeah, if you laughed once, you can no longer say women are funny.
Yeah.
God herself couldn't do what we're doing. I could create the universe in 7 days. Could she make you laugh like we do?
Evidently, because she created us.
I don't know if we're all made in God's image. Please, though, explain God. What's the deal with pie? That's, when she can answer that.
Please, God, tell me what is pie.
All right, I don't know if I have anything else to say. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you coming along for the ride of season 1. We hurt you down bad.
So down bad.
And it means a lot to us that you find some value in what we say.
Yeah.
Whether it be in the first 10 minutes or not.
We should go, I think.
I think that's enough.
We'll see you in the best month of the year. Hi, gay.
Junio. I went for Spanish. She went for Lebanese.
We thank you again so much for bearing witness to this journey and being a part of it. And we can't wait to see you again in June. But until then, Bippity boppity bye.